It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex
Corrupt
and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name is Lishay Carlson. I'm a filmmaker.
My name is Lauren. I am from Langa in Cape Town. I am a master's student. I'm doing my master's in justice and transformation at UCT.
My name is Pele, and I am a research assistant at a TV center, and I am doing my master's.
My name is Clavia Orense. I'm from Paul. I'm a senior facilitator and I'm doing my bachelor's in project management.
Being the first in my family to go to university and to then get a degree, I didn't know what comes after high school. So I thought I was gonna get a job probably at ShopRite or maybe a call center. And then from there, I was gonna build my way up into wherever I needed to be, right? But yeah, I think that was I didn't have a lot of fear because I was deaf, so I didn't really care. But I think after varsity, my fear was, like Z, getting a job. But luckily I studied on, so it kind of takes away the fear a little bit from.
When you leave high school, the biggest thing on your mind is how other people feel about you, your status. So I think for me, it was disappointing everyone around me. What will people think of me if I don't do this or I don't do that? So my biggest fear was that I won't live up to other people's expectations, which is bad. But at that point, that was my fear.
Just because you're 18, you're not grown. Like I'm 18, I was 18 at one point in my life, obviously. But I was still living with my parents. I still had to obey certain rules, abide by certain rules, all those things. So you're not really grown as much as you're grown enough to drink, but you're not grown enough to, you're not paying bills or whatever, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I started drinking way before 18. So that didn't change when I was 18. In fact, I probably drank more because now I had more time and space to do it. So that wasn't an issue. I started working at 15. So at 15, I was already contributing to my household because I'm from a single parent household. I knew as a deputy parent or the eldest child, I have to work in order to help my mom out, which I've been doing ever since.
I think you become an adult like 25 and above. Before all of that, your brain, even biologically, hasn't really fully formed. So you do, I think 25 under, you still need certain structures in place to be able to take care of yourself. But then I think once you've reached like 25 and your brain is fully kind of developed, and then I could argue that you're an adult because then you're being responsible for you.
Adulthood really has to do with, it has to do with so many things, but most importantly, it's different from person to person because of how you grow up. It's more your mentality said, growing up and having to work for what you want in life, work for what you need to have food on the table. That really contributes to you becoming a child, not a child, an adult at an early age. So definitely life experiences, how you grow up, that is what makes you more adult-like, I would say, if that makes sense.
I think it's experience thing, but I definitely grapple with that dichotomy of when you're a child and when you're an adult, right? I don't necessarily think 18 signifies anything. I think it's just the government's way of documenting people, because in households of color, you are required to have all these responsibilities. You need to pay black tax, you need to help out, but you are constantly reminded that you are a child in this house and you will act like a child. So I understand adulting. Like for me, I always thought adulting would be, I'm gonna move out, I'm gonna get my own place. Child, that's not it. Because your parents still micromanage your life to some degree. I think they assume you belong to them till the day you die.
You're still living with your parents, but you feel like, no man, you can't shout at me for coming in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning and I finish school, I'm studying. I'm a little bit grown, you feel like you have that That thing where you're just like, man, you guys can't shout at me like I'm a small kid anymore. That type of thing. I know I can never. I can be 30 and I still can't talk to my parents like that. I will definitely get a beating. But I think that's just because of like the way you know how parents are.
I think that when you are at a certain age, parents need to be realistic. There are certain ages when you need to be independent and you need to practice it, and they need to guide that independence. They must not just neglect you and say, "Oh, you think you're grown? We'll let life show you that you're not grown." That's very neglectful. Because at 18, 19, you are supposed to be making decisions for yourself, deciding what time you want to come in or not. Your parents can set boundaries around that, explain to you, communicate with you. They must respect you, right? So behavior does change because it's supposed to, not because you're disrespectful. You're practicing independence. You're practicing being an agent. You need agency. It mustn't be looked down upon. It mustn't be looked at as if it's disrespect.
My mom has detachment issues, so I think she vicariously tries to hold on to her 20s through me, right? But I have a completely different experience to life, to maneuvering my space, to negotiating my space than she does. Yes, my reality is informed by her decision making and certain things that she made happen for me, which I'm extremely grateful for. And the two of us sort of have that, and sometimes growing up, I remember like I was very scared of my body. I was very scared of exercising my sexuality because my mom would be like, "Are you having sex? Are you going to be pregnant?" Da, 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 da. And I was so scared of men. I was scared of my own body to the point where I didn't know I had the right to exercise it, And when I discovered these things outside and going home and telling my mom, it would be very combative, right? She'd experience it in a very combative way that, no, you're not supposed to think like this. But then she still forces me to be very worldly, become an academic, and like that. So I've had to do a lot of unlearning. I had to, sometimes if I need to block her, I will block her, because she loves to overextend herself. And I understand, I am living my mother's wildest dreams, being in the spaces I'm in, having access to the knowledge I have. She never had that.
I also grew up from a single-headed household, and there's a lot of pressure when you come from such a space, because even other people already have like bad perceptions of you by virtue of not having a father around or whatever. So there's a lot of performing that you actually need to do. You overachieve because you need to prove that your mom did well and she did her best. And then so it actually, it doesn't mess up the relationship necessarily, but like it does mess up the relationship because now you can't be honest with your parents. Being honest with your mother then becomes disrespect.
It's as if your parent wants to live through you. And with that, it's like they keep foreshadowing things for you. Just an example would be, I would say I wouldn't date this person. And my mom would say, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know you. I know you. But the thing is, you change so much. I am not you. As much as I remind you of you that time, I am my own person. And I think because back in the day, it was like whatever your parents says goes. So because they still have that mindset, they don't see that now everything is changing. We are more aware of, we have so much more self-awareness around us. We know what's going on. We make informed decisions. It's not just because you said this, I'm going to do this. I have a thought process. I give, but I keep a part to myself of my business, as you would say it. I keep a part of myself to myself, just because I know if I set my foot out that door, because I'm still young, if I set my foot out that door, I'm gonna have to be ready for the backlash I'm gonna get. And I don't think I'm at that step yet, but I know I'm gonna have to get there. In order to live my own life, I'd have to set that boundary.
It ends up feeling like you're betraying your mom. You're betraying your parents. You are becoming someone that they didn't want you to be. But like, and over time you realize like, at first you're very angry because you're like, you people are rejecting of me. How can this is who I am, this is who I think I am. And you're telling me I'm not supposed to be this way. And you get very angry, very angry, very angry. And over time, through therapy, like Lauren said, and actually self-awareness, we have so much knowledge now. You resolve and you realize they're really anxious. They've never been here. We truly are living our parents' wildest dreams. Whenever I was dreaming big, in her own strange way, shooting me down was protecting. She was trying to protect me from the potential disappointment.
I think this year, for the first time, I got an aha moment of what an adult feels like, because if I wasn't waking up, or if I don't wake up, I won't eat.
Okay, you're not crying to anyone else. You're not running. You are the one solving your problems. Your problems are yours, and they're created by you. The burden of your childhood, or the burden of your parents, or the way you were raised, we all have issues with that, always, even the people who were raised by the best people. So once you've resolved all of that, and you can kind of take responsibility for whatever came as a result of that, and whatever is right now, I think when you can do that and be responsible for yourself, then you're an adult.
There's a lot of times that maybe I'll need something, or I'm short, or like something. I know I'm the only person that I can go to for that, And I think that made me realize that, okay, because I think coming from a household where like I said, I'm the first in my family to go to university. I'm the first in my family to make this little amount of money ever. And just grappling with that, knowing that, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. But I think it's just relying on myself, on my voice, on my silence, on listening to my silence, and prioritizing myself, my womanhood. I think that's when I realized that, okay, we're here.
Hey, childhood is not very nice because you're vulnerable. And you're not an agent. I don't like not being able to make decisions. So for me, I'm somebody I feel who has always known who they are. Maybe I didn't have the language, maybe I didn't understand, because now that I'm here and I'm looking back, I've been doing this, like Lauren was saying. I realized that I am grown when I could say no and feel nothing.
I actually wish I could go back to my old self and give myself advice now, because that girl was fierce. I would just say, keep going. You've got it. You definitely have it. And stop worrying about what's going to happen. The future's going to sort itself out. You're going to be just fine. You've got it, girl.
Be your true self. And at the end of the day, remember, nobody's going to worry about you like you're going to worry about you. So don't care what other people think. The biggest thing is make yourself proud. Even if it's a bad decision, roll with it, because at the end of the day, only you take care of you.
My dream is to be happy.
My dream is to create generational wealth for my family so that we don't have to struggle ever.
To reach my fullest potential.
My dream would be to just be my fullest, authentic self at all times, in any place, wherever I am, and never feel less than. Just be me.
Yeah, see, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.